We are now 5 wide. Presented by Quick Trip's quality gasoline guarantee. It's just another way Quick Trip has you covered.
9 to noon, ready to go. Butchie's off today, but that's okay. We got Kuhn, we got Armin. They joined the fray. We're 4 wide. Good morning, boys. How we doing?
Good. We used to call this Big Four. Big Four
The
back
Big
in the
Four?
early McCarthy days. Yep, Big Four.
Did we? Oh, the McCarthy days. I was like, when was this segment?
Yeah, we
called?
never-
The
we
early,
never-
tight
the
ends.
early McCarthy days. Sorry, we did not include you, Armin. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Now, currently, you are a part of we, but we, when I
We.
talk in the past tense, not.
If you want a big, freeze dry, just add water and heat summer sports topic, the we discussion as fans is a huge one.
It is, and
Have
I've,
that.
I've gone toe to toe with people on this a lot of whether or not you should call it.
Okay.
Like people have been on me about saying we,
Weird.
in terms of like we won, we lost, we won. They're like, you're not in the team. I'm like, I'm part of the I'm part of their nation. I'm part of the family.
Okay.
Fans part of the family, and I've always pushed back on that, Zabe, because people don't like the we thing.
Right.
But I don't mind it.
Can I take it a step further? For me, it's only been one fan
Please.
base I've had a problem with we, and that is the Philadelphia Eagle fan base growing up in central Pennsylvania the way that I did.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I don't know. The fan base just bothered me. So the we out of them bothered me. Didn't bother me when Yinzer said we, speaking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Eagles, yeah, that bothered me for some reason. Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
think you
let's draw our individual lines on the demarcation line of when you can say we, yes or no. Ready?
Okay.
You can say we if you're talking about a team you've rooted for your whole lifetime. You've lived, you've loved, you've died, you've succeeded, you've bled sweat and tears, all that
That's
stuff,
your team, right? It's got to be your team.
That's your team. My colleague Andy Poley back
All
in
right,
DC.
So
back
Packers
in the day,
are out for you. I'm just
I-
clarifying. I'm just clarifying. Is
you
that
are
what you're saying?
clarifying, and you will notice I have never weed the Packers.
Josh.
I don't
I
we.
think you
I
have.
do not.
I-
we.
I know you
do
have.
not we the
I
Packers.
know you have.
I think you
But
have.
that's okay.
I think you
Because
have, and
I'm
then
going
you
to
defend it
disagree with the lifetime.
you defend it
warranty
with the,
of one
the
team.
stock. You defend it with the stock. You go, I'm a part of the
Okay.
we now. I bought the stock. I'm an owner. I can
Okay.
say we. That's
I try not to. Out of respect.
Why?
fair. That's
Come over to the good side. Get out of there and
You just
DC.
ridiculed him for it,
Listen, the
John.
Commanders are trying to
You did
trade
just
Chase
ridicule.
Young. Just get out of there.
Wait a minute.
Get-
You
I'm out. I'm gone. I'm saying I don't say we out of deference and respect to guys like Armin and Josh and
I don't
everyone
care.
else listening who have lived and died this team their whole lives.
You can say
But I
we.
do. I know, but I don't feel right doing so. Give it a couple years.
This is
a
where I
couple
disagree
more
with
years,
Butch.
Armin. Okay.
This is where I disagree with Butch on the whole bandwagon jumping thing. Change your mind. I'm fine with it. If you want to upgrade you. Press the button, Steve. Upgrade. Come to Green Bay Packers. Start saying we. I'm cool with it. I don't mind.
This
I'm not going to
argument,
call you a
John.
bandwagon jumper. I'm going to welcome you in, give you a
John, I
plot.
appreciate that. As an ex-player, you're not offended by fans saying we?
No, only Eagle fans. Only
Okay,
Eagle
only
fans when
Eagle
they win a
fans. I
Super
like
Bowl.
that. I
That's
like
the
that.
only one.
This argument
Because Mike,
is amazing because it started the whole thing with we are Marquette. Remember when Armin and you and
Yeah.
I, Zabe, were
Yeah.
like, we can't say we are Marquette. And so we
Right.
said, they are Marquette.
they are
You
Marquette,
are Marquette.
which
Because
was
we
like
are not Marquette. But
Was
you,
like-
Why are you
Sure
looking?
wasn't.
Armin, why are you looking like that?
I wasn't a fan of
Sit
that day when they are Marquette. It felt like you're
Yeah, you
trolling me,
hated it.
making
felt
fun of me.
wrong.
It felt like you were making fun of it.
No, we were not
but
making fun.
we
were making
are
fun
not
of ourselves.
Marquette. We're being truthful.
You can
Right,
be.
we
You
are
can
literally
be.
not Marquette.
You can be a Marquette fan. No one's being exclusionary here. Zabe, if you want to jump in, that's fine. Call we. If you want to be a Marquette fan, that's fine. My thing is, don't call we and we won and say they lost. A lot of people do
Yeah,
that.
that's the way you do it.
No,
The worse they play, the more there are they. I didn't do that.
You're
I didn't miss
either-
those blocks.
you're
I didn't
either
come out flat.
no, you're either in the boat, in the foxhole, in the trenches, in the truck, in the bus, whatever you want to say. You're either in or you're out. I don't want to hear we won and they lost. No,
I'm just kidding, Armin.
I know.
You're dead right about this.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a wee all the way home, this little piggy cried all the way home.
now
If you're going to be a wee guy, if you're going to be a wee guy, then you've got to be wee in the good and the bad.
Here's the other way of defending the we. When people say we, no, they like you're not part of the team. You can't say we. I'm like, no, that they said Milwaukee won. I'm part of Milwaukee or part of Wisconsin, a part of that state, that city. Then I can say we. That's my other point on that.
So there's that. Where were we on this? So colleges are different because you go to the school,
Sure.
and that's why the We Are Marquette thing,
Sure.
I think, hit differently.
Because I didn't go to
Yes,
Marquette.
you're a we if you went to the school. Otherwise, you're not a we.
Right. You are
Come
Marquette.
on. You can't like a team. You can't have a favorite team.
You can. You can't say a we. It implies to the casual listener
Do you know
that
how
you
many
went
fans of Wisconsin there are that have not attended the University of Madison?
there. I am aware.
How do Badger students feel about that and alumni? They are different. That is
Yeah,
one
are they
example.
Marquette?
Get off your high horse.
Hold on.
They're rooting for you
Hold on, that,
and
that's
your
fine.
team.
But that is one example.
Again, welcome them in. Why are we trying to push so many people out
No.
of these great fan bases?
And I
welcome
agree,
them in.
because-
I agree.
because
Don't push
Kuhn-
them out.
because-
Don't push them out.
Yeah,
no.
because we is the Delta Sky Miles of sports fandom. It's an exclusive club. You got to be above a certain, level.
Then-
There's
then
your high
don't-
horse.
then
going-
don't
there's
sell
your
the
high
shirts.
horse going down the road
then,
right there.
then don't sell the shirts. Because I didn't root for the Brewers my whole life, don't let me buy this awesome, short sleeve
Then-
hoodie. Don't let
With
me
a
buy
discount,
a
yeah.
Wisconsin Badger basketball shirt. Don't let, if I can't say we, don't let me buy the merchandise.
You can say it. And
Why?
I'm just telling
All
you
right.
why some people have
Cool.
issue
You can
with
buy
it.
the merchandise of any team you want. You don't have to be a we to do that.
No, but
Kuhn,
you-
I'm drawing the red line of my gerrymandered electoral district in a very fine way.
I know.
And when
and I'm
it
just
comes
having
to
fun
college,
breaking it down.
when it comes to college, I take the red line and I go, and I do a little squiggle
there is an extra
because I
level.
believe college
Yeah,
lies in a separate district.
yeah.
A pro we, like for the Brewers, is perfectly acceptable. Pro teams, you can we it if you've been a fan for long enough. College teams never we unless you went.
What's
You
long
could
enough?
have gone and flunked out in a year, like my buddy Al Nabasi did from Georgetown, which was quite the embarrassment for his
Shout
dad,
out
who was
to
head of
Big Al.
pediatrics at the time. But that said, he did
Ooh.
graduate from Arizona State when it was all said. and
That
done,
ain't
so he did
Georgetown.
okay.
Okay.
Not
That
Georgetown, but a lot
that
more
ain't
fun to go to. A lot better
There it
visuals. A lot better visuals.
Arizona State.
Exactly. In fact, I don't even think he made it a whole year. I think it was a semester. He partied his ass off.
Where is he?
I was
Down
like,
on K
wow.
Street? What was he doing?
What happened?
Yeah,
He was in the
DC.
dorms at Georgetown,
Hey,
not
what
on K
happened?
Street, but in Georgetown. Yeah. He turned out that college is fun, yes, but you got to do some studying actually there. So there's where I draw the line on we. What about you, Armin?
For
Armin,
college,
where's your we line?
if you're a fan, it's good enough for me. I don't really have a hard gate. I don't keep many people.
No
out.
probationary period.
No, I'm
1
not,
year,
'cause, well, first of all,
1 month,
who would
1
check?
week.
Who would check that? Who would prove it? And the other factor is time doesn't necessarily mean passion and dedication and investment. It
True.
doesn't. Some people can. We work in where we work. Where we work in sports radio. So what do we hear all the
Who you
time?
calling we?
Oh, good question.
Thank
Oh,
you.
good point. People call all the time and say, "I've been watching the Brewers for this long," and people will assume that time equals. It doesn't. Some people are 40-year maybe watchers of a team that are not as passionate as some people I know that have watched for 2 years. That's just the way it goes. I mean, so you can't prove who is more passionate and who isn't.
It's a really good point. I feel like if you're a person who uses we about a sports team, it means that you're invested enough
Personally,
to say
right?
we. Like I never said we about Marquette because I didn't feel that connection with Marquette. If I say we about a team, it means because I'm emotionally invested enough to feel like I'm part of that team.
That's understandable. Like I wouldn't say we about Wichita State.
Right. You would say
Even if
Josh
I-
went there. Hey, that's your school. That's
Right.
right. So that was.
But what if I grew up in Wichita? And that
Do you
was
feel
my-
passionate enough about the Shockers to say we?
If I grew up in Wichita, I probably would.
Interesting.
Then you can.
Yeah.
That's my point. I don't think it matters where you're from or whatever. It's
How
it's
much
just
you
if
care.
you, right, if you're passionate enough to say no, I'm part of the we, then you're probably part of the we.
How about a coach, Kuhn, that pops from one school to another and has been at 4 or 5? Does he have now 5 wees?
That's kind of my thing is like I grew up loving Penn State football. Even when I went to Shippensburg, I'd say we about Penn State. And when I came to Wisconsin, I very quickly started the shift over is some things happened at Penn State while I was in Wisconsin. Some things got found out that I didn't really condone. So I started liking the way that Madison did things down there with their football program. Plus they run the football and have offensive linemen and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was great fullbacks that grew up as quarterbacks that are now fullbacks in the NFL. That's a whole different ball. So I started really liking Wisconsin. So I switched from Penn State to Wisconsin. Plus James Franklin going to Penn State kind of took it all away.
Things changed.
That was the last blow for Weeze of Penn State.
You know, I had a friend that I still have a friend that was really big on that gatekeeping access though, Zabe. Like he's really big on this to the point where he's a Packers shareholder. He would only buy gear that said Green Bay shareholder. He wanted everyone to know he wasn't just like everybody else. No, I'm a season ticket holder and a shareholder. Like I have stock in this team.
Does he make sure to tell people?
Is he in the Packer Hall of Fame, fan Hall of Fame?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Okay, well, take him down a peg. Bring him down a peg. When he takes you down, you take a shot right back
that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're no bigger than
him.
me.
Chop block him.
I don't know if maybe anyone can buy it now. I don't know. But for a while, I think you could only buy the shareholder shirts if you own stock. Like it would just be, he wouldn't wear Packer stuff. It says Green
it's
Bay
like
shareholders.
the member logo at the clubs, Zabe.
And he'd be like, this is
love
why.
that.
He's like, I put a business investment into this.
I'm the one that's trying to get those member logos, even though I'm not a member of those clubs. See, I want to say we as much as possible.
Like he would
like people.
He hates the shareholders meeting, but he goes just to go.
I like people.
Yes.
I like people.
Do you, Josh and Armin, know that at certain private clubs they have a separate logo that's only for members?
I don't doubt it for a second.
Doesn't surprise me.
Don't doubt it for a second.
Because people are paying for that exclusionary.
That's how people can tell. You must be a guest. To look at that shirt.
Jay,
what a loser!
You ever go on an airline?
You have the Shady Acres old logo, not the members logo, with just the oak tree on it.
What did you get that for discount in the pro show?
I offered a Club Pro $200 for a $30 hat for the club logo. He would not take it. Would not take it.
Which
about money
club?
at that point? You can't buy it.
I don't really want to say because I want to golf there again. So.
You can't buy that honor and pride.
Please. You've slept with the ultimate supermodel, Augusta National Golf Club.
It wasn't Augusta. It wasn't Augusta.
Tory.
It wasn't Augusta. Burning Tree, Cypress Point.
Yeah, just start naming all the golf courses.
If you guess it, I'll say yes, but you're not going to guess it.
Zablocki Park.
It's the coolest. It's the coolest member.
Give me enough time, I'll eventually hit on it. You give enough typewriters to enough monkeys, they'll knock out Shakespeare.
Hey, I'm a member of Zablocki.
Josh knows about that 9-hole Zablocki.
Yeah, I'm a member. I have a member.
We should make
member
hats for Zablocki.
Zablocki.
That's a 9-hole public in Greenfield. I didn't even cut the grass. I shouldn't say that.
My first golf
backyard.
My first golf.
Yeah,
Speaking of 9-holers, how about Hanson Park?
Yeah, Hanson.
I believe Hanson Park has a private members only.
yeah, I have a members only jacket from Hanson.
Got in trouble. My first ever golfing experience, I was in middle school. I never real golfed before, just mini golf, and we went to Zablocki, and I kept missing the ball, and I kept chopping up, and the guy in the loudspeaker, the only guy working there, for like, stop tearing up the green.
Hey, speaking,
he went on the intercom hailer outside the shop.
Please stop taking those huge divots over there. I can see you. You're wrecking the range.
I was mortified. It's because I didn't know how to play golf. It wasn't because I was trying to be a nuisance. I felt terrible.
That's not growing the game.
Well, he wasn't growing it.
You should have come out as a PGA
that was
American
before
professional
everything
and offered you
merged
a
together.
tip or two.
So.
That's before the Liv merger.
That was before the Liv merger.
Speaking
Now it'll
of
all
the
be
Liv
different.
merger, I do want to know, Zabe, have you recovered? You were in shock yesterday when that broke on 5 Wide. You actually stopped talking. I saw the whole demeanor on your face, which is normally a good East Coast scowl, turned into a full frown, a full bitter beer frown yesterday when this happened. I need to know, have you recovered? Do you agree with Rory McIlroy that in 10 years, this is a good thing for golf, that it will unify golf and secures the financial future of golf? Rory's exact words from this morning's Canadian Open.
Was that on
Well, there's a lot
Canadian
to
NBC or?
Yeah, CNBC. There's a lot to unpack there. Let me start with my face. And Josh, like in the Step Brothers scene, I don't know what you want me to do with my face. I don't think it was a frown or a scowl.
If you don't fix it, I'm going to fix it for you.
I call it RBF, but that's the other. Yeah.
Okay, resting bitch face.
Yeah, we're from the East Coast. Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, yeah, that's a thing, though.
That's our thing. That's a we thing.
Oh, you're part of we.
Yeah.
That's a we thing. Okay.
RBF.
He was just shocked.
We're the RBF team.
I was shocked. I was also scanning my social media feed to try to further verify this is actually real.
Right.
Because it was so out of the blue. It was so shocking. It was kept so secret that literally a handful of men negotiated this deal. We're talking under a dozen guys in suits.
Handful.
That's an incredibly small circle for such a titanic financial earthquake in the world of sports. But I'm not mad about it. Is it going to be great for the game of golf? Says Rory. Whatever. It's great for the people.
Yeah, good Lord.
Oh, man.
You're
Well,
still
okay, there's
hurting.
two things.
Look, he
Still
hates
grieving.
it.
No,
He's
no,
still
no, 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 no.
grieving.
Here.
He's still grieving.
I'll explain it to you. It's two things. There's the game of golf played at the recreational and amateur level, like you and I do. Then there's the sport of professional golf, counting shots for money. Okay. They're two separate things. I mean, there's some crossover, there's some intertwining, but they're two separate things. The sport of golf, the game of golf, continues to grow post-pandemic, which is a wonderful thing, Kuhn. I don't know if you realize this, but it's harder and harder to get a damn tee time these days.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
That's great. More people are playing. It's a wonderful sport. Josh should play more. He's got a lot of athleticism to him that could be put to use. He's a lefty, but we can't
about
fix
Armin?
that.
Can Armin play?
Armin should definitely be playing golf. He'd be a
I've never
riot
seen
to
you
have on
swing
the
a
golf
club.
course.
I play a little bit, but not enough. But I could be playing more, and I have Tim's old clubs back there. You gifted to
Okay.
me, so
So the
And then
recreational side
throw
is
them
that
away,
side.
Zabe.
Yeah,
This
just get
is
rid of those.
it's focusing on the professional side of things. Of course, it's fantastic for the pro game of golf in terms of making money if you're a good player and having opportunities to play around the globe. The only hook is that you have to get comfortable with Saudi money. Because here's the problem. It's everywhere, and there's more of it coming, and more of it coming, and it's not going to stop. What happened, Kuhn, was that over the years, all this Saudi oil money was being turned, all this oil is being turned into money that the kingdom was holding. They weren't allowed to invest outside their borders. So it's like a big lake of water. And eventually they said, we got to diversify. This money has to go somewhere. So it crashed over the banks of Saudi. It splashed into all areas of the globe. They're buying up soccer teams. They're buying up leagues. They're buying up race teams. Now they've bought golf. Money is like water. It wants to flow wherever it goes. It just washed out Monahan and the PGA Tour.
I think you're right, Zabe, in that you have to tell yourself, are you comfortable with Saudi money owning everything in sports? That might be where it goes one day. Are they going to own everything? Do you want
Not
that?
where
remember,
it
they
goes,
almost-
it's where it is.
Well,
Norman,
sure, but not
and
yet. Like in
continues to be.
in
They-
American sports, when it starts hitting NFL and NBA and MLB,
They almost bought the WWE, and then instead they merged
Right.
with UFC instead.
Right.
But they were
yeah.
reports were already out.
China-
that deal was
I
done.
think you're
China
right,
already
Zabe. That is
has
the story.
its clause into the NBA. Now, China has a lot of money, but Saudi has the easiest of automatic money because it's just oil they pull out of the ground that turns into money because that's what the world runs
If
on.
if everything runs on money, if that's the only thing that matters in this world, is what a lot of people want you to think, right? That's the narrative, right? Then they have
It's
the
not
most
a
of
narrative.
anybody.
It's
Well,
John,
not
tell your colleague the truth of life. Go.
It's just the inevitable truth.
Well,
It
They
runs
got
the world.
not everybody.
Well,
Not everybody thinks that way. But
Yeah, no, and
I
I'm
didn't
not
say everyone
saying
thinks that way. I
here's
said
the
what
deal.
runs the world? Money.
Here's
You
the
can
deal.
take an
That's why
individual
they call it
principled
money.
stance. Right. You can take an individual principled stance to not be affected or to seek the money
yeah,
like a monk, but that's your choice. Money will still rule the world. Rory and Rahm
I can't argue
didn't
with that.
sell out, but guess who sold out on their behalf without telling them?
their bosses.
Jay Monahan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and he knew he had no choice, really, right? Because eventually, it'd be litigated. It would be.
There is a defense of Monahan here that can be made.
It's
And
a
the
huge defense.
Thing I hadn't considered. Well, the huge defense is this. I had not considered this, Kuhn. The tour was frantically trying to get their existing sponsors of tournaments to up their investment sponsoring tournaments to make this new pay scale a reality that they had promised to the Rorys and the Rahms, right? And they were finding out as they went to all these sponsors, they were balking at the 50%, 80% price increase, number one. Number two, a lot of their sponsors already had Saudi money. They were already entangled in Saudi money. They were already doing business with the Saudis. And so How do you take a principled stance against UBS Financial that might sponsor the Heritage Classic? You can't. Monahan was like, how do I sort out the egg from the yolk at this point where it's all been scrambled, while asking them for more money at the same time, while enduring a 10-year legal fight, having every one of our players and agents and caddies deposed and put under subpoena? Ugh, would have been a mess. Or do I want $500 billion from this guy, Al Rumian, who promised a $54 million bonus, Kuhn, for anyone on the LIV Tour who could shoot 54? Why don't you just say, you can hit a ball on the moon, I'll give you $100 million.
They're all trying to shoot
Silly
54s.
league,
They're all trying to shoot 54.
They're all, but
They weren't before?
it'll be great for golf. They're gonna create a global. It's gonna be a global network of the 3 tours that pretty much cover everything, and guys are gonna play all over the place, and they're gonna make a ton of money. And the majors, they're gonna get the best players in all the majors, which is all that most people care about anyway. So you got to go with it. You okay with it, Kuhn?
I've been calling for this. I thought this should have happened
Okay, good.
a long
You're good
time
with it.
ago.
Josh, are you good with the new setup?
I can't tell you that yet because I don't know how it's going to affect what I get to
You
see
want to
as
see
the
how it
viewer.
works?
I
Okay.
can tell you how it's going
Harmon,
to affect
you
you.
okay
You're
with
going to
it?
see a lot more of the good players going against other good players.
Yeah, but am I going to get anything that happened in LIV now in the PGA? Are people,
Likely no.
Okay.
Likely no.
then
That's debatable. Oh,
see?
and guess who just got run over by the bus? Greg Norman. Not going to be part of this venture because even they're like, he's a douchebag. Nobody likes him. He's out.
With a
Norman
bunch
was
of
the
money.
guy that stood there and took all the arrows, and now they're like, you're gone.
I say watch more tennis.
All right,
There
Tag,
you
you're
go.
at 9 to noon is next. Boys, have a good one. Josh, great job as always. Thanks for listening, and we will see you tomorrow.